trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and call toll free 1-866-928-3310 and we'll send you out a no obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 4th day of April, 2017. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. Then we're going to pass you straight over to Michael so he can give us a recap of the live training room today. And we can get you all out of here in time to attend that webinar. All of you that want to attend. Okay. This is where I would normally give you the numbers. Welcome back. For those returning, if you're here for the first time, you should be able to see the chart I have up, which is the S&P 500 E-Mini. If you can't see it, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions, and you'll be good to go all the way through the end of the month. You'll be able to see the charts and access the chat box each and every day with one-click access. All right? Okay, so here's the numbers. Here in the U.S., the Dow is down 39 points. The Dow is up 39. The NASDAQ is down 2.5. S&P is flat. Russell 2000 is up 2.5. Quiet day. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up 72 cents, trading at $15.96, and gold is up $2.60, trading $12.5660. Moving to the Asian markets, the Nikkei closed the day up down 172 points. The Shanghai is up 12. The Hang Seng's up 149. And then last but not least, Europe. I think this is 3 days in a row. FTSE up 40. DAX up 25. CAC up 15. Not big numbers, but consistently green numbers. So there you have it. You're around the world in about 60 seconds. Michael, if you're ready. Michael's not ready. All right, let's see what we got in the headlines today. When Verizon merges Yahoo with AOL, its acquisition of Yahoo closes, the newly created division will get a new name. That name is Oath. What? OATH. Verizon is merging Yahoo with AOL after its acquisition of Yahoo is closed, and the newly created division will be called Oath. OATH. Go figure. I'm sure it must stand for something. Facebook is launching a $14 million news literacy project to fight fake news. The Ford Foundation and Mozilla are also contributing to the project. The two most popular Amazon original shows in most countries are The Grand Tour and The Man in the High Castle. They are central to Amazon's strategy for world domination, according to Amazon studio boss Roy Price. The Grand Tour, I haven't even heard of that, but you've heard me talk about The Man in the High Castle. Google is turning to machine learning to help it identify objectionable content. Such content has caused over 250 brands to freeze their ad spend with YouTube and Google Display. Waymo, the self-driving division of Google's parent company Alphabet, accused Uber of violating a court order. In a letter submitted to a judge, Waymo's legal team says Uber willfully ignored the court order to provide about 14,000 documents and other materials. God, that's a lot of documents. Google says its self-driving car lead, Anthony Lewandowski, made $120 million in incentives while secretly building Otto, a competing company eventually acquired by Uber. That's according to an arbitration demand filed by Google against Lewandowski and another employee. Is that you, Mike?
Yes, that is.
Okay,
me.
all right. So if you're ready, you can take it away. And
Okay. Thank you.
Okey-doke.
Here we go. Okay. There. Everyone should be seeing my screen right now.
Got it.
Okay. Well, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 4th day of April, 2017. If you have not taken a free trial with us, you need to go to the home page at CFRN.net, scroll down to where it says free 5-day trial, and click on that. And where it says start free trial, click on that. And then scroll down to these 4 little entry spaces here and fill them in. Okay, then hit the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, you will not get the free trial. Okay, so let's go to the spreadsheet. We had a yellow day today. We almost made it. If we'd have stayed in that last trade, just a couple, I did the math wrong in my head and I thought we had made it and I exited the trade. But we were a few ticks away there, obviously. Yeah, we were a few ticks away. I kept looking down, and on the euro I had +8 ticks, and on gold I had -8 ticks, and I thought that put us at break even. And I did it wrong anyway. But anyway, if you're gonna read this, you gotta read all the CFTC risk disclosures and all that stuff down at the bottom. Okay. On the euro today, +8 ticks. On the NQ, +4 ticks. On crude, +8, and on gold, -8. That put us at +70. Okay, so we were really close to getting it, but we didn't. 13 opportunities is what was taken this morning, and 345 on the month. That's over 2 days, averaging 172 per day. Okay. This is the net with an $8 commission and the net with a $5 commission for 2 days. Okay, on the year now, gross $10,043 over 63 days, averaging 159 per day. Okay. All right. Let's put that down, and we'll go through what happened today. Now, we had Draghi and Trump speaking at the same time today, so that made for a very boring market, really. In gold, we had just one opportunity right here, and it stopped us out, -8 ticks, and that was all we had in gold. After or during the break right here, there was an opportunity in gold that would have gotten us that 8 ticks back, and another one right here that would have been a break even, and that was it for gold during the break. Okay, the euro, we had, well, let's go back here. The euro started out, I mean, it was flat for the most part. We had 4 ticks here and then 4 ticks here, and that was it on the euro. And since the break right in here, there was nothing at all on the euro. Okay, on crude oil, this was the last one we were in, and obviously if I'd have stayed in it, we'd have gotten 3 more ticks, but I jumped out because I thought I had enough in the NQ, but I didn't, because I just did the math wrong. But you can see how flat it was on crude. There was an opportunity here that would have been a break even. There was a break even here, a break even here, another break even right there, another opportunity that would have been a break even right there. And on this one, we picked up 8 ticks. Okay, we obviously could have gotten the 11 that we needed. I had a target on this at 93. 93 is what we needed to get, and I ended up getting out at 91, or 90 is where I got out. 90 is where I got out. Anyway, it flattened right out, and you can see right over here that well, right in here, it's starting to set up a long trade right now. There was nothing during the break. Okay, and the NQ is where we had most of our action today. We started out with a stop out this morning. First trade right here was a stop out, -8 ticks. Then the next one, looks like there was one right here that we missed, but the ES was in and around the zone most of the morning. The next one that we did was right here that was +10 to put us up to +2, and 6 ticks there to put us up to +8. Then another stop out there to put us back to break even, then a break even, then another break even, and this is the one right here. If I'd have gotten out up here, we would have gotten the goal for the day. But I got out right in here, and we did not get the goal for the day. We got 4 on that. Okay, let's see, during the break, there was a bounce off the BBC right here that would have been a break even. another bounce off the BBC that was also a momentum trade right here. A bounce off the BBC on the short side right here that looked to be a really nice trade. And right now it's setting up a possible long trade. Over here, setting up a possible long trade. Okay. And that's it for that. Now on the ES, started out here with a possible long trade. I said was probably going to come right back down into the zone. It did come back down into the zone. Then it was a short here that went a little ways. Another short here that would have been a break even. A long here that would have worked out okay. And that was the end of it during the room. There was another long right there that would have been a break even. And that was it on the day. With excuse me, with Draghi and Trump both speaking at the same time, it made it complicated. And with the ES around this zone for so long this morning, that kind of flattened things out too. I was thinking when Draghi was speaking, excuse me, when Draghi was speaking, we'd see more action. But sadly, we did not, because Trump gave an unexpected speech at the same time. Okay, so that is that. Today, again, if you're going to look at the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today on the Euro +8, on the NQ +4, on crude +8, gold -8. Daily total 70 gross over 13 opportunities. Okay, so on the month now, 345 over 2 days, averaging 172 per day. And on the year, 10,043 over 63 days, averaging 159 per day. Okay, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to the homepage at CFRN.net and scroll down to where it says free 5-day trial and click on that. Then where it says start free trial, click on that. Then scroll down to where these 4 little slots are, fill them in, hit the submit button. And once you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, you will not get a free trial. All right.
Hey, Joe, you get to come on today?
All right. And with that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix,
right?
Arizona.
Okay.
Lane, if you are present, take it back. Over here on the NQ right now, guys, we have bullish divergence, but we have to close above the trend line. Okay. And that is that. All right. My chat. All right. So on the NQ, you see it's dropping down below the BBC. Let me just show you guys something, while we're waiting for Dwayne to come back. The optimal trades are the ones where the MA1 is the right color and the cycle is the right color. Those are the optimal trades. Okay.
I'm back.
You can get into a trade. Okay. All right. Well, we're ready to head back out there. I was just showing the optimal trades. It's where the MA1 and the cycle are the right color. All right. All right. You can take it back anytime.
Okay.
There you go.
I got it.
There you go. Daniel.
Okay. Yeah, what was the recap of the recap?
Well, we didn't actually get it today.
Okay.
We ended up with plus 70 70. Took the whole morning to get there.
Now, did you give everybody the link for the webinar?
I did not, but I will do it right now.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. I think John's going to come on here in just a few minutes, and then Mike Reed's going to join us for a bit, and then I'm going to try to get you guys out of here in time to go to the webinar if you want to go. So, okay. Where did we leave off? Oh, one of Apple's most important designers, Christopher Stringer, is leaving, according to the information. Stringer hasn't announced where he's going next, but his departure comes less than a year after longtime Apple industrial designer Danny Koster left to join GoPro. Everybody seems to be leaving everything. I guess they've all made plenty of money. They don't need to work now. Apple's online store is running a rare sale on Beats headphones. Apple's products don't go on sale often, and they almost never go on sale at Apple stores. Tells me they're having a hard time selling those incredibly expensive headphones. Over 1 million Reddit users waged a virtual war to create a bizarre work of art. It has 16 million pixels. Now, I've told you guys before, but some of you may not know that Reddit is considered to be the front page of the internet. And you still haven't been there. That's okay. On Friday, Reddit unveiled Place, the latest in its streak of annual social experiments celebrating April's Fool Day. On Monday morning, Place came to an end. Here's how it went. Basically, Reddit Place was a huge collaborative canvas accessible on Reddit for desktop, iOS, and Android. It's almost like a massively multiplayer Microsoft Paint, where every Reddit user gets to paint one tile on the canvas every 5 minutes. That time limit means that users are forced to work together to do anything more meaningful than a random scribble. What they came up with was pretty amazing. Immediately before the end, over 90,000 users were simultaneously viewing the canvas and placing tiles. And this is what 90,000 people with nothing better to do can come up with. True story. Reddit. As in, I read it on the internet. Yeah. Facebook is testing a second news feed without posts from your friends. Facebook is using a new tab to only show recommended videos and articles based upon what you already like and watch in your main news feed. Now, there's a couple of apps and browser plugins that have come out to confuse Google and to confuse Facebook as to what you really like. Some of them use... is that you, Mike?
I'm here, Dwayne. I was just waiting on you.
Come on in. John hasn't called yet, so let's chat for a bit. I know you have to leave early, so let's go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
How you been?
Oh, I've been good, I guess. I just survived the NCAA Final Four. That's center in Phoenix. Unless you didn't know. The University of Phoenix? The University of Phoenix?
The University of Phoenix won?
No. I just wondered, is that close by or, locale there?
The University of Phoenix, I think that's just an online college.
No, let's see. Um, Maybe I messed up on this, but I thought they said they're being played in Phoenix, the Final Four. Maybe I messed up on where they're actually playing at, but I was under the impression it was out in Phoenix. Could be off base
it
on
may
this.
be.
Well, anyway, that was basically the this weekend, I guess. That and this market is pretty volatile finally, and that's good. There's some nice moves in both directions yesterday, and so far again today. Well, not as good as the last couple of days, but anyhow.
I'm looking at the Final Four is being played in the University of Phoenix Stadium.
Right.
Okay,
That's right.
there you go. That's where the Cardinals play, which has
Okay,
also hosted several Super Bowls.
The dome, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those seats, I don't know how people would want to sit where they were sitting to see a basketball game. My goodness, they were back, I don't know, maybe 100 yards from the basketball court. That's a long ways to be, long ways away to be watching a basketball game. But anyhow, I wouldn't be paying for those.
So what do those tickets run?
I think for way up in the nosebleed section was a couple $100 for last night's game, at least, and then the good seats for thousands. So not cheap. The players don't make a nickel out of it, but the NCAA sure gets rich, and the colleges. But anyway, that's another deal. Players should be somehow compensated, but they get their college education, so that's enough.
They get their education, and then some of them go on to play for the big leagues.
Yeah, but that would probably happen anyhow. That's just, a lot of guys play in college and do really well, and they don't make a nickel after that from basketball. And they'll use their likeness in the video games and whatnot, and they're not even able to get anything from that. I know one fellow who sued, former basketball player at UCLA, sued for using his likeness in one of those video games.
I remember that. I remember that from the news.
Yeah, so he didn't get paid, but they got to use him, make money off of him, but he didn't get anything for it. So that doesn't seem right. But anyway, that's not market related, but I guess we always won't stay on topic, so we'll be off topic here for a second. Anyway, so that's over with, and now we got baseball season, right? So that's, I guess.
Yeah, they got spring trainings, all the rage out here in Phoenix right now.
Yeah, well, that's over now. They just started. Opening day was Sunday, so you guys will be playing real baseball now. Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there in Arizona for spring training. It's pretty much loaded out there.
Yeah,
we get Florida.
We get just a ton of them,
Yeah.
and they build stadiums for them. And
yeah.
Karen said that they shipped in a basketball floor and they adapted the seating so it was more suitable for basketball.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, right. Yeah. It wasn't just like a football stadium, and you're sitting. Yeah. Right. They did adapt it, but I mean, it was like a flat row way back. To me, it wouldn't have been a good view. I had a better view at home in front of my TV screen. Anyhow.
So, what's your thoughts on the markets?
I still think that March 1st blow off top was going to be it for a while. We went all the way down from there to 22.18, and then bounced back to the maximum bounce resistance for that to be a high when we stopped at just under 23.67. resistance for us. So they made like 2 days in a row. They topped at 66 and 3/4 up there, and then roll over. We're looking for this to roll over, and that's what we got yesterday morning. They had a real nice bounce back, as they normally have been doing lately, and then this morning, the sell off to support a nice bounce, and now we're getting we're going to end up with a little breakdown, I think. So we have it at top in at that 56 area, and then come back down under 52.5 should be.
You think 50, 51 is going to hold on the pullback?
You have 50, 51? Is that what you have?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have 52.5.
Actually, those are numbers left over from last week. Those are last week's zones.
Gotcha. Your zone down there, we have 40, 42.
This week's isn't very far off. I mean,
I see.
It's 51, 52.
Yeah. Well, they'll get down there. Whether or not they hold is another question here. I think if they stay on, they'll have to bounce back above 52, 53 to get out of trouble if they get down there. Because we did roll over from resistance at the top at 56. I was just right at yesterday's close. So, anyhow.
So do you think the big Trump trade's over?
Seems to be, doesn't it? Like, well, the momentum of it has died out anyway. So I don't know. Seems to be. He's not getting much of a honeymoon. But anyhow.
Well, they keep tying his hands. Everything he tries to do.
Yeah.
They've made it incredibly difficult for him.
Yeah. It's that's what just grinds me, is that these guys can't work together. Just no matter who's in the Oval Office, the guys in the Senate and Congress or wherever Congress, they just can't work together. So just can't get anything done, and they just I don't know. I just kind of like fried after the election on politics right now, to tell you the truth. Let's see what gets some things put into motion here. So, anyways, he does have his hands tied, that's for sure. I don't know if we'll get he should get his judge through, you would think, but I don't know. They put the hold on that. I think I saw something about maybe there could be a filibuster to try and get him through.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They said they're breaking a rule, so another rule's got to be broken. That's like, what? You guys make your own rules in the middle of the game. What's going on, Dwayne? Anyway, I don't know how that works, but I don't think that's an old, like a filibuster like the old days where they're going to stand there and read for hours, or what do they need to do? I don't know how it works. But anyhow, as far as the market goes, Dwayne, there's yes, maybe we thought we had a top in, and first quarter high, and April's is usually the best month, one of the best months of the year for the market, and then May has that sell in May go away, so it doesn't always happen. But anyways, April's normally a good month of the market, and it's not off to a great start yet. So they have to take out the 2368. 2367 level, or have a chance at for me to think that maybe we could go back up to the all-time highs. But right now, it's going to take a lot of work here to get that done. We have, I think, Fed minutes tomorrow. So I don't know what could be in there. Any idea what they might say that might shake the market up?
They've talked about being really aggressive with interest rates. I don't think they're going to move as quickly as they may have led people to believe.
Yeah. Well, then maybe that gives the market a lift, if that's what they come out and say. I thought there were some Fed guys talking this week too, but could be wrong. But I don't know. We'll see. Tomorrow should be. If we don't perk up this afternoon, I guess we wait till tomorrow afternoon to see. I think we could probably get another decent move here. Anyhow, if they do happen to break through the lows from yesterday, I think the market could be in for some more trouble, Dwayne, and hit at least the lower 30s before we get this another bounce again. So anyhow,
don't you think we're due for a decent pullback on a bigger picture scale?
Yeah. That's why I think it's going to come from that 2,400 high on the ES. NASDAQ quietly made a new all-time high yesterday. I don't know if anybody knows that, but yeah, I do think we're well overdue, and the market's very complacent that it just seems like every pullback there's only been 1% down day in the last 100 plus days. It's only one, and that's just amazing. Just to have only one like that. So yeah, I think we get a shake up here pretty soon. Probably news driven, unless there's some reason we break some technical levels. It just seems like something needs to come out of unexpected happen and shake us up a little bit. Either that or just keep spinning our wheels here if we don't make much progress over the next week. And I'd say into the next week, we're burning off the very first 2 days of the year. I think if we don't get going in the next week to 10 days and take out 67 area before then, that we're going to be in some trouble. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Dwayne. This matter of trying to time something like that, it's kind of hard to do. Just have to watch the price action, I guess.
Are you trading just the S&P? Or are you trading the Nasdaq as well?
Nasdaq as well, yeah. More S&P than Nasdaq, but Nasdaq was really good yesterday. I couldn't believe it was at an all-time high, and they weren't there for very long at all. But yesterday morning, there was a good early drop, and I think it dropped about 50 points in a matter of, by noon, from early on until noon. So that was a nice down move on the Nasdaq yesterday. I was in on that part of it, but I went back to the S&P with some options I had, so I was just kind of watching those. Right now, I'm just pretty much flat with a small put position on. So, see what happens.
You're gonna wait it out, huh?
Well, I think for today, yeah, I want to see how we end up today. There's room and there's a little bit of time here. You like he said, a shakeout of some sort. And I don't know when it's going to come out of the blue or whatever, but a small position, we get a good shakeout. We wake up some morning and we're down big or whatever. We're going to be wishing that I had something on. And so I'm going to keep at least a small short position on that could pay pretty good. Pretty good if there is a decent sized drop. So anyways, that's not a huge position or not what I'd say is a big trading position, but it's just something to be in there in case we get that move. I'll have at least already have a partial on the entry. So anyhow, so that's why I'm doing that, Dwayne. I have a stop in place, so I know where my out point is if I'm wrong on this.
Gotcha. So Julie get a car fixed? Everybody okay?
Boy, which car? Yeah, I think everything's running okay. It's this. We got the youngest son's on spring break this week, and then my oldest boy, or second youngest, he just got out of spring break, but he's going into. Believe it or not, I can't believe it. He wants to be. He's going to be a police officer or work at the jail. Yeah, and
Good for him.
he's he's really pretty much a mild mannered kid. It's surprising that he wants to go into that, but he's loving it, and he's been having an internship down at the jail, which is quite a hoot sometimes. But yeah, he likes it. I think he'll do well. I just don't want him to get hurt. That's all. But he's got some background in defending himself from what we taught him. So anyhow, he'll be all right. I like that. And the other daughter, she's about to graduate she's gonna be a med tech. Work with the doctors in the operating rooms. So then I'll have an empty nest, Wayne.
Wow. Wow. That'll
Yeah.
be the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, quite a while. So, well, we'll see how that goes. I don't have any idea. You'll have a while before you go through that, but it'll be here sooner than you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me, Dwayne.
Guys, go over and visit Mike at tradestalker.com. He's got a lot of content available on his site. There's videos, there's articles, and you can subscribe, take a free trial of his nightly newsletter. And it's an unlimited free trial. You can receive it until you're convinced that he's the real deal, and so is it. And can't beat the price. Tradestalker.com. Singular, not plural. Somebody ripped off his name, and so tradestalker.com. All right. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, all right, Dwayne. Thanks a lot. You too.
All right. Take care.
All right. Talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty. Let's go to our good word for the day. Not going to hold you long. So I want you guys to go to that meeting with Michael. Now, John was coming on, but we know how that goes. Yesterday we started to talk a little bit about relationships. Now, I know that most of our audience is somewhat older and probably married, but in that bunch there's going to be some widowed people, some divorced people, and some people that just never found anybody. And so that segment of our audience deserves to be addressed along with everyone else that gets addressed from time to time. Genesis 2:22, then the Lord God made a woman, and he brought her to the man. Adam lived in a perfect neighborhood, had a perfect job, one God gave him. It doesn't get much better than that. Nevertheless, he was lonely. Something was missing from his life. The Bible says, but for Adam no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God made a woman, Genesis 2:20 and 22. God recognized Adam's need for companionship, and he met that need. However, this is where some of us, acting on loneliness, frustration, or bad advice, rush ahead of God. There's a reason one of the 9 gifts of the Spirit listed in the Bible is the ability to distinguish between spirits. 1 Corinthians 12:10. When someone comes into your life, they don't just bring their looks, their talents, their financial assets. They also bring their spirit. If you've ever been around someone with a controlling spirit, a vindictive spirit, a resentful spirit, or a negative spirit, you know why this particular gift is so important. So make yourself a hard jury, one that's not easily convinced, one that requires concrete evidence before reaching a verdict. And remember that it's better to lengthen the deliberation process and ensure the decision you make is right than to reach a hasty conclusion and end up with a broken heart, a broken home, a broken family. Just wait on God. And I know the heart wants what the heart wants, but sometimes we need to inspect what it is the heart wants. And is it really the heart? Is it love, or is it lust? And remember, it's better to lengthen the deliberation process and ensure the decision you make is right than to reach a hasty conclusion and end up with a broken heart. You may not feel wise and experienced when it comes to making such decisions, but hear this. It's not how much you know that arms you with the tools of great decision making, but how much you ask. The first person to ask is God, and the time to do it is before, not after you get into a relationship. Keep that in mind. That is our good word for the day. Okay, real quick, we'll take a look at some of the Concierge Trade Alerts from last night. And if John doesn't pop in, I'm going to let you guys go so you can get over to that webinar. Stand by. Let me give it a jingle and see. You know, this most recent iPhone I got, I'm not even sure which one it is. I think it's the 6. It's got some things about it. Yeah, I'm not so crazy about. I haven't spoken to corporate about it, but maybe I should. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Pete, I don't have the Tuesday web link, but if you call Michael real quick, 949-42 Emini, he'll give it to you. Or shoot an email over to support@cfrn.net, and he'll get it to you one way or the other. Okay? All right, last night on the S&P, alerts went out at 8:30, so that's 20:30. And we're looking to be buyers at 23.56, which 56 and a quarter right there. Not good. And sellers at 23.49. Good. So 49 took us down to, well, we'll get a swing low here at 47 and a quarter. And then ultimately it took us down to a low at 44.75. From 49 to 44, 5 points. That you, John?
Yeah, sorry,
Oh.
Dwayne. I had a forced shutdown of my system, and I've been trying to get it back up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why. it didn't
Everything
come on,
okay?
but, yeah, it's almost up right now. It'll come on in a few minutes.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, yeah, we're gonna be here a short time today because we got a webinar
Okay.
going on in a little bit. But I want to give you a chance to share any
Yeah,
thoughts that you had.
I just sent you an email before the system shut down. This amazing story about how this whole story about the National Security Advisor Susan Rice spying on the Trump people with all their cronies, probably masterminded by Obama. The whole thing stinks to high heaven, and that's what I've been saying on this show for months now. It's an absolute disgrace. And last night, you know, it got practically no coverage on the networks, and CNN was trying to discredit the story and laughably dismiss it. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace. And I hope this thing blows up into something really big, and you know, the FBI spooks in and arrests people, and it really does, you know, act like a law enforcement agency it should be, instead of the ridiculous Russian nonsense that's going on. That's just absolutely insane. You know, it's just continually it's being perpetrated and reperpetrated day after day, and I can't believe that people can actually do these things. That grown men are actually, and women are low enough and dumb enough to keep doing this. It's just so unproductive. It boggles the mind. Absolutely boggles the mind. Anyway, when you get that email, you might do just. I mean, it's like Tucker Carlson says. You know, enough of the euphemisms. It's spying. That's what it's really all about. And it's out of control, and this is what happens when you've been in power for 8 years. You know, you get people who think they can walk on water, they can do whatever they want, and this is exactly what's been going on.
You're talking about the one Cernovich explains how he learned about Susan Rice?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Okay.
I guess, and it was the New York Times and Bloomberg already had the stories. They had that's where the scoop came from. They were sitting on the stories because they didn't want to, you know, discredit Obama. Can you believe it? So we're supposed to be in a free press, talk about fake press or no press. I mean, it's an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. And this is what happens when you get a billionaire who owns, well, in both cases, that owns, you know, you got Slim who owns the New York Times, and you've got Bezos who owns the Washington Post. They're running their own propaganda sheets. Basically, you know, it's bought and paid for. The news is bought and paid for. And unfortunately, Fox is going the same way, because you've got a couple of people on Fox now who just shouldn't be there. And the quicker they go, the better. Because they're just, you know, I'm aghast at some of the things I'm hearing there. And some of the people they're bringing on these shows from the left.
Yeah, you know, I think that's their way of trying to keep it fair and balanced.
Yeah, but still, you know, I want to tune out when I see some of these people.
I know.
Because you can't, no credibility. And I think a whole lot of other people, they've had a huge amount of complaints about the coverage. And look, Shepard Smith has made a fool of himself because he tried to, come out and say something, to discredit the story. Neapolitano, very, very smart guy, is sticking by his story. He says he has his sources, that the Brits are all over it as well. And obviously they are. I mean, this poisonous atmosphere all the way across Europe against Trump. Some of the countries are for him and some of them are against him. But it's just an absolute disgrace. It's very unsettling, to be honest with you. But anyway, look, we're doing okay. The markets, they are still consolidating here, struggling a bit. I guess the oil is up today very strongly per my very bullish forecast. Just hit 51 today. And it's interesting how the oil is sneaking higher, stealthily, but very strongly. We were about 46, about less than a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And about 51. That's $5 up. It's gone up $5. I said it could go to 60. I definitely think it's going to go to 55. I think it'll hit 60 by Memorial Day. At least if we get any kind of inventory drawdown, which is probably going to happen, because it seems to me, and I don't know, when they get these inventory blowouts, if we're producing more oil in the U.S., one would think that the imports will be reduced, right?
Right.
So, and there's a bit of a time lag. So they would reduce the inventory, maybe a month ago, and it might start to kick in, or reduce the imports, and it might start to kick in here any time right now, maybe this week. I'm telling you, if we get look, the oil market isn't going up for nothing today. There's either somebody made some comments in the overseas bullish, or the people who really monitor these things ultra closely at the Cushing place where all the oil comes from around the U.S. into the storage. They can tell when the market's getting tight, and that translates to higher prices pretty quickly. So that's what's going on. There's a reason why the oil is going up, and it probably is anticipating. It probably is anticipating a. It's probably anticipating a drawdown, possibly of some significance here in the next day or two. So, between this afternoon and tomorrow, we could be in for a surprise. And in the meantime, the gasoline levels and the heating oil levels have been in a drawdown for some time. So, even though there might be a surplus of crude, they're not making enough gasoline to supply the needs. And the driving season is, hotting up now as we go into Easter next week. So things could definitely tighten up here, and that appears to be what's going on. That could be bullish for the market. The one thing that's bothering me a little bit about the market, and I did mention this yesterday, is the TNA is actually making new lows right now as we speak. That's not a good sign. We've gone from being up on the Dow, up nearly 100, down to minus right now. So everything's going negative. So, and I did mention yesterday.
Daniel's Trading. This is Leslie.
Hey, Leslie, it's Dwayne. You're on the other line.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No problem.
So a lot of stocks are damaged, like CarMax, and some of these other stocks are kind of rolling over a bit. Incidentally, yesterday. I haven't seen that just because of these issues I've had today. I haven't really been able to scan the markets, but there's some very dramatic developments going on with some pharmaceutical stocks. Although it's not it's not translating to higher prices in the pharmaceutical index. There have been some spectacular moves in there's one called Novacure,
Mm-hmm.
and these are that more than doubled in the last few days, tripled I think in just a matter of 2 days on cancer, very very successful cancer tests. There's a lot of breakthroughs going on in cancer, and then there's several other stocks. CYCY is another one. Cyclic Pharma, I think it is. That stock's gone up hundreds of percents here in the last few days. Very, very impressive. So, I think that there's plenty of life in this market. Just because the market's going down today, I think the employment number could be a big surprise. Remember, the only other thing is that the market anticipates the news, and when the news gets better and comes out, it can cause the market to go down. It's sort of buy the rumor, sell the fact. As the economy's getting better, at least in terms of some of these statistics, maybe the market is kind of resting, at least at this point. It still looks like it's going to break. It still looks like it has the potential to break out to the upside. But as we get more into April, the odds of a correction, I think, tend to increase somewhat, and there could be a bit of a rollback in the market here, just based on the way it's acting right now. That could change. If we go back to positive, either later today or going into tomorrow, towards the end of the week, then it's probably going to portend a very good job number. It would seem that the jobs are going to come in better than 300,000 for March, and kind of be surprised if that doesn't happen. But it kind of looks that way, feels that way right now. So that might also, remember, they're still only talking about the growth in the fourth quarter, the GDP. They haven't got to this quarter yet. The one just ended. And that may be a whole different ballgame. Normally the growth is, in the last few years, the growth has been very low in the first quarter, a lot of times due to weather. This time it's going to be interesting to see if the first quarter of 2017 really notches up the GDP, towards 3% or higher. My guess is, let's just say it does come in at 3. I think the odds of it could be 3, 4, 5. So you're 3% this quarter, 4% in the next quarter, and maybe 5% in the third quarter could actually happen. That's my feeling about it anyway. So we'll see. The only negative is that the cars, which is a kind of a leading indicator, it is a bit of a sensitive indicator. The car business is stalling out a little bit, and they've gone from making 12 million cars a year 6 years ago, to 17 million cars a year. Obviously, the demand is being satiated, and so naturally, this is about a limit of how good it can get. And we've been even though there's a lot of obsolete inventory on the road, probably more than ever, it still takes a bit of money to buy a car, and we just may not have the buying power to sustain the output levels that we're at. So there could be some closures, plant closures later on this year, or temporary closures to set. I don't know. I think the demand is stalling out, and some of the car stocks are starting to tell us that. So That's, I mean, there are things that when you get, we've been growing for 8 years, not, we've been slow growth, but still growing. And so, after 8 years, things do tend to stall out, and so that we're sort of betwixt and between. But on the other hand, if we're starting a new growth cycle, if we've actually managed to skirt a recession and can generate a new growth cycle, perhaps with Trump's infrastructure and tax cuts and everything else, then we're going to have a kind of a utopian situation for a while, where really it could be something like we've never seen before, and it could generate a lot of wealth. And listen, there's been an absolute. I mean, when you create $3 trillion in new wealth through stock market, I mean, this is real money today that can be cashed out. It's never happened before. It's a staggering amount of money. It's like a gigantic stimulus that's really got, it's only just starting to be felt. But it's out there. And so combining that with a $1 trillion infrastructure bill and tax cuts, it really could power the economy in a very, very big way that a lot of people might not be prepared for. That's why I'm kind of advocating that we could still see this 3, 4, 5. Look, it might be a quarter out, so we have a slow quarter. Then the next quarter could be 3, 4, and a 5. But I think we've got a shot at hitting the 4 or 5 growth before the end of the year in the economy. I think there's a very good chance of it.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. The oil very strong. The gold is
it rallied up and then it sold off a little bit.
Yeah, but there is a bit of, look, we did get a bit of a sell signal on the gold today and the silver, just above where we are at the moment, and that is a little bit of a concern. If we break down from here, if we actually take out that sell signal and in the next day or two, that could be very positive. And I think, look, we're just knocking on the door of 1260 here on the gold. If we get to 1275, I think the next stop is 1290, and then we're going to consolidate between 1275 and 1290, and it puts breaking out through 1300 in sight, and possibly a pretty strong move right up to 1340. There's a lot of resistance at 1340, so but that's kind of the way it feels to me, that we could be headed for. And also the silver is also acting very well, except for the silver sell signal just developed earlier, a couple of hours ago. If we start taking out 1850, 1860, 1875, it puts the 19s right in the sight. And I think that, listen, if we get up to 1275, it's probably going to mean an acceleration to the upside. And the gold, as we've said on the show before, look, before the Brexit, the gold spent a long time in the low 1200s before it ran up $100 into the 13s, and then had this downward move into the 11s before, into the end of the year. But it's interesting, as we've gone higher, we started off in the lower quadrant of the 11s, 1125 area.
Still there? John? We lost John. Okay. We'll see if he makes it back. Alright, so gold, we had 2 moves. Buy 1260. First move ran up $250 per contract available. Back below the trigger, ran up $370 per contract available. We never get out at the swing high or the swing low because we trail our stop. Okay. Alright, so that's gold. Now this is gold on the bigger picture. Okay, we're waiting to see if we're going to get a breakout above this, this, and this. And notice the two lines that we have here. One's a 62% fib, the other's the 50% fib extension, price extension. So we're still waiting to see what's going to happen there. The Dow today said to consider buying 580, so that took us up to 640. So that's an 80-point move. On the sell side, we were at 535. Which made for a rough go. $35 took us down to 17. So that's 18. And then 35 took us down to 12. $23. So there was some movement. Now we'll peek at it on the Russell, and well, let's see what the dollar, that's the wrong dollar. Okay, we were looking for a red candle, and look what's happened. The step line has run into the BBC. So this trade maybe we may not get the short leg that we were looking for. Okay. So again, we planned our trade. We knew what we would do if we got a red candle yesterday or today. We didn't. So we didn't have to risk anything. It was all planned out, mapped out. Moving up, I'm not really crazy about being long unless we start to show weakness in the gold market. As long as gold remains strong, you know, again, I did say this could go sideways for a few days. Now the step line touching the BBC, that's straight out of the live trading room each morning. That's a hard and fast rule. However, when you get into these bigger picture trades, you're doing a little bit more discretionary trading. So we'll watch tomorrow. And, you know, if this thing really starts to break away, we'll give that some thought. Did we end up with a red candle yesterday? We did. We got a down close, but right when the step line hit the BBC. Tell you what, if this thing consolidates and then we get a strong bullish close, then I will be interested in talking about a trade to the downside. Okay. All right. That'll wrap it up for today. I want you to go and spend some time with Michael, especially those of you that are new, those of you that haven't seen the trades that you don't see every day in the live training room. This is the opportunity to see what goes on behind the curtain. So by all means, go do that, enjoy it. If you don't have the link, call 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. All right? All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.